Hello, I'm Nikki. I am the owner of Southern Fleek Bath, and I just recently got this beautiful machine right here, the Electra-Press. I've wanted it for a long time. So this is going to be my first time trying it. I'm going to do it, with you guys, so we can learn together. So here I have already got all of my wet ingredients mixed together. In my KitchenAid I have all of my dry ingredients minus the citric acid, because we will put that in last. I will just pour all of my wet ingredients in, and I usually scrape it out with a scraper, but I can't do that holding the phone, so I'm going to do that. Up. Smells so good. I'm actually using strawberry guava from Candle Science. It's one of their new fragrances, and I'm in love with it. In love. Next, we're going to put in our citric acid. Now, I put in the rest of my binder, which I use distilled water and witch hazel. I put the witch hazel in when I'm mixing. That's in here now. And then I put some distilled water in with my colorant, with my dye, and put it in. I do that after because I'm actually going to leave some of this white. Lots of people grind their citric acid. I don't, because it already comes really fine where I get it from, and I don't have to sift my citric usually because it never has clumps. And I don't want to lie, I'm trying to think of I think it's Wholesale Supplies. I mix this up, the citric, with my hand, and oh, it smells good. So everybody's like, drop test. It's already doing pretty good without adding any more binder. But I'm going to do a little bit with my colorant, and I usually, whatever's going to be white, I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but whenever you put lakes in a batch, it will dry out faster. It just, something about it makes it dry out faster. But when you're leaving it white, it will stay really good, for longer. So we got a nice little snowball there. So when I'm going to take my white out, what I'm going to use as white, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in a bowl and set it aside for when we try out the Electra-Press. Anytime that I use pink, I use some SLSA, and I'm just going to put that in there. I use it sometimes anyways, or Psy, or milk powder. It's really up to you what you put in your mix. My different ones have different things in it for me. But if you put a little SLSA in your batch when you do pink, it will keep it from sticking on the side of your tub. Working on getting some of these clumps out of my batch. Shows up with colors. I do sift my baking soda, but sometimes, some gets through, and there's no sense in sifting the cornstarch. I do use cornstarch. I love it. A lot of people, they say lots of bad things about cornstarch, but I've never had a problem with it, and I don't consider it just a filler the way some people do. It actually, I've tested it with and without, and I personally would prefer the bath water with it in there. It's a lot silkier, and I've heard some people say it causes lady problems and this and that, but that's just a wives' tale. It's not true. I mean, people have been putting cornstarch on baby butts since, you know, before there was disposable diapers. So, okay, now I'm putting in some Red 28 liquid dye. Well, it wasn't liquid, it was powder. It was, I mixed it with distilled water. And I just put that, I mean, you've seen, I just drip it with a pipette right in my mix. And I don't ever have any problems with that. Humidity is 66. I personally, everybody says, you know, don't make bath bombs if your humidity is over 40 or 50 or whatever. I actually love some humidity because it keeps, you know, it keeps your mix moist. So, keeps it from drying out faster. As long as you're drying your bombs without the humidity properly inside something airtight, you know, it's not going to bother you while you're making your bombs. It might actually help. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. All right. So, here's the mold. It's pretty cool. I have to say this. I have a lot of printed molds. I've bought a bunch. My brother actually has a 3D printer, and he actually prints me a lot of molds. And I know you can't tell on the camera, but there is a big difference in these two molds. The one you get with the Electra-Press is heavy. You know, not too heavy, but it's very, you can tell, it's sturdy. It's very slick and smooth, which I think is going to be really good for the bath bombs. These I get really nice bath bombs out of, but you know, you can see sometimes the lines from where it was printed. That doesn't bother me. They still makes beautiful bombs. But I've been wanting an Electra-Press for a really long time. So, let's try it out. And I need to quit talking so much so my mix doesn't dry. I actually am going to spray my white just a little bit with some distilled water because I've been running my mouth. I also think I want to put some glitter in this white. And let's see. Here it is right beside me. I like to use Super Sparkle from Nurture Soap. It's Enviro glitter. It's you know, not bad for the environment and all that great stuff. So, I like it a lot. I'm just going to pour some in there. The good thing about this glitter, like you think glitter, a lot of people are like, even when they order from me, oh, I don't want glitter, don't put glitter. You know, some people do. A lot of people like it. But this glitter is different in the sense of it's not... It's real fine. I mean, you can almost see it in the air, you know, if you're not careful. But it doesn't, like, stick to you. It doesn't stick to your tub. It's just, you know, it's nice and sparkly, and it's really nice. I think, I find a lot of people who think they don't like glitter, if they try this, they're okay with it. Okay, so here we go. It's great. Perfect now. And my pink is still good. Okay. Are y'all excited? I'm excited. I probably don't need to do that since I told you about this mold being really, really shiny and slick. Like, I don't know if you can tell. It's just like, see, I guess you can tell it's shiny. But this is cyclomethicone. Cyclomethicone. I spray it. I use it in a lot of my molds. I just spray a little bit on the top. And look, so we're right here. To get this top mold to come off, just go all the way up. Oh, falls in your hand. Okay. I'm going to put a couple squirts of the cyclomethicone in there. Like I said, you probably don't even need it, but wipe it out with a paper towel. Wipe it out with a paper towel. Okay, and you can probably tell, see how much shinier that is? It is a lifesaver for any kind of mold you're using. You know, if you're having trouble with anything sticking, you put some of this stuff in there and it will pop right out. So, come out. So in order to put this on, so we slide the mold in. Oh, it might be good to do this first. And then how you get this to stay, to go back in, if I can do it right. You're gonna put that down inside your mold. Well, it'd be nice if I'd move that. Here, I'll do it again in case that was in the way. Okay, so you bring that down, make sure it clears your mold, and it will push it. See, it pushes it on there. You just stop before you get up there, you know, and it'll stay. When you get the Electra-Press, it does come with some little tubing to go through the hole up there, whatever. But you don't really need it. I mean, if your mold gets loose and it won't stay by itself, then you might need it. But otherwise, I mean, it stays up there pretty good by itself. So I'm going to sprinkle some white. And sprinkle some pink. Got this cool little swirly majig. That's what I like to call it. And I'm just gonna swirl and swirl. Okay. I don't know how good that's gonna do. It actually was sliding around in there. It's so slippery. So hopefully that swirl takes. I don't pack my mix. If you keep your mix nice and fluffy, then that helps your bath bombs float. You know, you hear lots of people think that, oh, if you use coconut oil or cocoa butter, that your bath bombs, they won't float. Well, that's not true, because I put cocoa butter in all my bath bombs and they float. I'm hoping that you know, there's a learning curve to everything. I'm going to have to make sure that my bombs still float using the Electra-Press, but I have faith in me. I have faith in the Electra-Press, so we're going to try. This is going to be my first one. I might need to add more or less. We're going to see. Right now, I just got it barely, you know, over the top. I didn't press it in there. All I did was let it rain and cleaned it up a little bit. So here we go. Are you excited? Okay, all the way down. Stop. And when you order Electra-Press, you get this cool little popper, that's what I like to call it. I actually bought one of these that came with some 3D molds I got from Wildwood, I think it was. And it's awesome, but it's just, you know, it's just wood. This one is actually heavy. Like, it's got some cork on the bottom. It's pretty nice. Okay. So, I personally like the rings. I don't know, maybe I didn't put enough in there to make a big fat ring. I don't think I did, but it still looks nice. Okay, we're going to have to take a spoon. Okay, we're just going to actually usually, oh, look at that. It's nice. Have me a big spoon that I pop it with, but I don't know where it is. Actually, I want to weigh this really quick. Let's just see what this one weighs. I usually make 2.25 inch rounds, and they weigh between 3.5 and 4. If I can get this open with one hand. I was guessing these would be about 6. Close enough. It's a 5.55 is what this weighs. And I might try to put a little more in there than I did this time, because I want to see if I can get that nice ring. So I think this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put my mold on the scale and tear it out. Put a little mix. Make a little mess. It's okay. I mean, my kitchen, my work area and everything gets so messy when I make bath bombs. You know, I'm very OCD clean person, and so it used to like really bug me, and I would try to clean the whole time that I made bath bombs, you know. And then I just decided, you know, I'd rather just go ahead and do it at the end, you know, one big time at the end, and kind of deal with it. Okay, so I'm going to push it. We're not going to pack, but we're going to push it in there a little more. So we can get about 6 ounces. And so okay, 6.2 ounces, so it's a little more, but it's okay. I'm just cleaning that rim off the bottom where it actually slides into this guide plate. Oh, look at there, see? Don't do that. I was just trying to make sure I can clear that. Alright. There it goes. Alright. And I did it again. I'll have to get used to that. But it didn't matter. Didn't hurt anything. Alright. 1, 2, pop. Okay. And I don't know. I guess the reason there is a Saturn ring, it's just not as prominent as the molds that I usually use. But that's okay. It really is. I'm okay with that. Nope, that didn't work. I think I might need to find my spoon. There we go. Oh, I like the swirl on that one better. I feel like this balm is like super bright pink, and I don't know if it looks like it in the video. But anyways, and I'll tell you what another thing I like to do. I like to actually put, let me try to pull this forward so you can see it. Yeah. I like to put, there we go. Use this to actually place my balm there and pull it out. See, I don't know if you can see that, but I love this thing. I love it. And when Christmas comes and goes again, I'm going to get more because they go on sale. I think I paid like $5 for it, and it has been fabulous. So, okay, I'm not going to weigh this one. I'm going to just kind of judge between, I think I want to do it just between the first two. So I want it to weigh like almost 6 ounces. We'll just, because the one that I did just now last time, it felt a little dense, and I want to make sure. I'll do a tub test and see if that one will float or not. But if you pack your balms too tight, they won't float. And another thing, you know, you can do to help is like poke, you know, put holes in there. But I found that if you really just rain it in there, you don't press down, you don't pack too hard when you're putting it in there, you don't even have to do the holes. You just got to make sure that your mix doesn't feel dense. Because if it feels dense in your bowl, you know, when you're making your bath bombs, it's going to feel dense, you know, in your bath bomb itself. So, and where I knocked this thing off, we got to get it back. And gotta clear that. Okay. So y'all can see I'm in the way, huh? And I did it again. Okay. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. And so, I'm going to pop. And we're going to clean off the rings. Or where the rings would be. I don't know if you could even much call that rings. But, like I said, it doesn't bother me. It still looks really nice. And found my spoon. I'll lose everything. So we got this beautiful balm. And like I did before, I'm going to place it in here. I'm not going to try to move this thing where you can see it this time, but I'm going to take it over here and I'm just going to turn it upside down and release it out with that. And I will, let's see. There we go. You can see it. And where this pops shut, it keeps any moisture from getting in there. It's fabulous. I used to think, you know, and those of you that do this, you know, everybody who lives somewhere different, everything works differently for you. Your recipe, how you dry, humidity plays, you know, a large role, and sometimes for the good or the bad. I mean, sometimes I think humidity is good. Like I said before, now it's 66% humidity in here. I've been running my mouth. I'm not working as fast as I normally work, and my mix is still not dry. You know, it's still good. And that's what I like. I don't like it to dry out really fast, and then you have to add you have to try to add more binder, and then when you're adding more binder, you know, you get that feeling of like it just doesn't want to stick together good anymore. One thing you can do to try to help that, actually, is put a little more citric acid in there. When you're you know, you're spraying and it's just feeling not the same, Not a lot, just sprinkle a little citric acid in there and see if that helps. Sometimes it helps me. Sometimes I decide, hey, I'm not going to waste my time trying to make this work. When they start misbehaving, it doesn't happen often on me, but when it starts misbehaving, I've decided I want to just stop, you know. Like, I'll try a little bit, but if it's not doing right, I'm just going to stop. And I'll use that for one of my Epsom salt bath bomb soaks. Or something like that, a different product. I'm not gonna, you know, keep on, because then what happens is you get frustrated, you just get aggravated, you don't want to do it anymore. And if you just feel like, you know what, I'm gonna decide to walk away from that one, you do a new one, you know, the day can keep going. So I'm gonna try to pay attention to not be in the way of this, because I know my arm has been in the way. And then I'll knock some of that off, but it's okay. Okay, now make sure you line the mold up. And a lot of people take this plate off, and whatever works better for you. I can get, you know, you have to make sure it's just right, see, or you don't want it to mess your mold up. But I don't know, I think I like it, so we're just going to see how it works out. Like I said, it's my very first time using this machine. Look, and I stopped before it fell off. So proud of me. And I don't think, let me check. Looks like I almost, where I knocked some of that off, putting it under there, and I might not have enough mix in here this time. I'm going to start trying to do more bath bomb videos. This is actually the first one I've done, besides demos. I love demos of my bath bombs. But I'm going to start trying to do a couple of, you know, how-to, or, because I know I like to watch videos while I make bath bombs. I don't know about the rest of you, but I really enjoy to watch other people or sometimes listen when I'm very involved in what I'm doing, to other people make bath bombs while I make bath bombs, because working from home, you know, I work alone, and I love to talk to my sister on the phone and stuff while I work. I'm just going to place it down in here this time without using the thing, but I love to talk to my sister while I work and stuff, but sometimes I just like to watch YouTube videos, and thought, well, you know, maybe I'll make some videos and see if this will make. No, this is not going to do. This is not going to work. I'm almost out of mix. So, when I don't have enough to do that, I don't know if I'm going to use that one. It's a little temperamental. That's better. And my kids usually use these. My youngest, actually. So I'm not real concerned. Like, there was a little bit of yellow in the top of it from last time I made bath bombs, and it's okay. Might look pretty on the top of this if we get some yellow, or it might completely mess it up. We don't know. Alright. I used to have a hard time with these mooncake presses, and I don't even know why now that I think about it. Like, I feel like I do the same thing I did when I first started. I mean, I guess as you learn, you know how your mix is supposed to feel, you know exactly the pressure you should apply. So, I mean, it all has to do with the learning curve, I guess, but it's like some of the things I can do now without even thinking about, I had such a hard time with when I first started. And so, I don't know if that's just me or other people too, but I want to do it again. This is gonna, look, I messed it up. This is gonna be a little one. It's gonna be a mess, is what it's gonna be. Yeah, that one stuck a little bit from where I got some of the pink in there. Oh well. Just gonna pop that back in there. So I've got a mess to clean up. I might decide to do another batch and add it to this video before I post it. I'm not sure. So far, I have to say I really like this Electra-Press. There's things I'm gonna have to get used to, like not letting it go all the way up and the mold fall off the top of it. But all in all, it's pretty good. I'm gonna check and make sure these float, you know, after the appropriate drying time, but they probably will. I mean, I feel like as long as you don't overpack, as long as you don't pack too hard, no matter what your recipe is, they will float. But thank you for making bath bombs with me today and checking out my new Electra-Press. I love it. I really love the molds that it comes with. I mean, honestly, when I first got the machine, or when I did just get it, but when I was first thinking about getting it, I was like, oh, I can get my brother to make the molds for it and this and that, and I probably might still could, I don't know, but I really like the kind of mold that comes with the press. So if all their molds are such high quality, then I might just stick with those, you know. Well, I'm Nikki from Southern Fleek Bath, and I have a store on Etsy, I have a Facebook, and I think I'm going to put this on YouTube, so, but thanks for watching, and have a good day. Bye.